reason why some people don't look well put together is because they're doing one or maybe even several of these 10 mistakes that I'm going to present to you. My dear elegant ladies, welcome back to a new video. Let's dive straight into point number one that cheapen your looks. Let's be honest here, feet do matter even if they are located somewhere down there. So when you're having cracked soles, crusty feet, or generally speaking just really hard dead skin, this little detail does leave an impression about you. So make sure you're always doing those pedicures regularly, at least once per month. Number two. There is currently this trend of doing the lip liner outside of your lip line. And I think many can agree that that doesn't always look nice. Actually, oftentimes it does cheapen the appearance of someone. But I can also tell you from experience that this mistake can easily happen when you don't apply this lip liner correctly. I did this mistake recently, and unfortunately enough, it had to happen in one of my videos for my program, The Elegant Stylist. I did not notice how I had applied my lip liner. It was so much outside of my own lip line. You can see for yourself how ridiculous this looks. And this is the thing that you might, when you're doing your makeup, think that, but this looks really good. But in reality, when people see you three-dimensionally, from an outer perspective than your own, you can actually end up looking like that. And do you know how you look in other people's eyes? Well, that's why you need to be careful and pay attention to these tips that I'm presenting to you. One major appearance killer that just downgrades everything, no matter how nice of an outfit you're wearing, no matter how well you did your makeup that day, no matter how good you feel about yourself and you're so confident. But ladies, point number three. If you have greasy hair, then nothing else matters. It just ruins everything. It makes you look unhygienic, actually. It makes you look dirty. I know that life happens, and I know that sometimes we don't have time for our usual grooming routine. But this is why always having dry shampoo at home is going to be your best friend. And if, let's say, you don't have dry shampoo nearby one day, then at least put on a hat or wear a headscarf or something to cover up that grease. I mean, the best would be to just go and have a shower and wash your hair, but I know sometimes we don't have the time. But stepping outside your home with greasy hair, no, that's just a big no-no. Point number four. I think we all have met a person or two or three in our life where they seem kind of pretty normal at first, but because, their makeup is like smudged and, maybe they have a bit of eye crust going on, maybe there is some remains of their eyeliner or mascara somewhere around their eye. Yes, these things happen for all of us. When we are sweaty, our eye makeup may rub off a bit on the skin. But there are some people who, they just seem not to care about these things. They simply just leave it like that. Or they don't even pay attention to this thing that, okay, well, their mascara smudged off and they're just walking around like that the whole day. For me, the impression always leaves that this person looks a little bit kind of reckless and crazy. It doesn't leave a positive impression. So for this reason, I do think smudged eye makeup or eye crust or a mixture of eye makeup with eye crust definitely cheapens a person's appearance. Point number five. Now this one I have to be very careful about, but I can also speak from experience. That point number five is all about not showing your hair extensions where they start. Never have this visible, ladies. But I know it's also difficult to keep it invisible at all times, because what happens, especially when the hair has grown out a little bit and your extensions are starting to age, is that it becomes easier and easier for the patch of the extensions to be visible. So let's say it's a little bit windy one day and the wind blows and your hair separates. Yes, you can easily see your keratin bond or your weave. Or let's say sometimes you itch your head and you just didn't notice that you managed to itch in that particular place where you have your hair extension and you didn't kind of put your hair back. The point of the story is that you need to be conscious of these things and you need to be aware. I always check my head in the back before I leave my home to make sure that everything is calmed and perfectly aligned. But of course, there never guarantees that it's going to stay like that with me the whole day. So these mistakes can happen even for those who really do pay attention. But all I'm just saying is that you need to be aware that this may happen and just have it as your little routine to always check. So on this channel, I teach a lot about elegance, about styling, but I also teach a lot about elegance mistakes, styling mistakes, and so on. Simply because I have learned it the hard way and I have made so many of those mistakes myself, which by the way, you can get some insider scoop in this exclusive video if you go to levelupsecret.com. This video is not public, it's not on my YouTube channel. You can only watch it if you gain the special access, but the good news is it's free to get this access. So go to levelupsecret.com and get your invitation. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I believe the time is now to do so. Now, what I wanted to say is that this channel is focused a lot on mistakes because I have made many of those in my life. So I can really speak from experience. And one big mistake that I have shared on my channel is how I used to have awful, long and thick and pretty disgusting eyelashes in the past. Which is what point number 6 is about, is that if you wear fake eyelashes, which some ladies, if you want to wear them at night, sure, go for it, as long as it looks natural and decent. It is not an elegance mistake not to ever wear fake eyelashes, but it's about how do you present those fake eyelashes. Make sure they're perfectly glued to your eye, because one thing that we see a lot with ladies is that the eyelash, you know, that one big piece, is not entirely glued on. You always have that little bit on the corner or in the inside corner that is poking up because it's not fastened properly. And this is something that maybe is not seen to you, the wearer, but it's seen to the rest of us. And you need to pay attention to these small details because they give away and they cheapen the appearance of someone when a job is simply not done correctly. You know what I mean? Point number 7, blush that is not blended correctly. Instead, this blush is just applied like this. And it's really strong and eye-catching. Almost a bit like 80s style. Some ladies do that because they're stuck in the 80s, but I do think that your makeup should always be blended. Of course, makeup mistakes happen to all of us, but try and blend it so that it looks natural and part of the rest of your makeup. Number 8, another mistake commonly made in the 80s. We have hair that doesn't have much movement, meaning that you have applied so much hairspray in your hair that it's there, static. It doesn't move. You look a bit like Mozart. And ladies, that does not look good because the whole point of beautiful hair is that it has movement, it has shine, it has luster, and it just looks healthy and real, not like you're wearing a stiff wig. Point number 9. Not everyone's gonna agree with me, but I guess many of you will. But I must say, this is a personal pet peeve of mine because one thing that I personally really don't like when we're speaking appearance and hair-wise is hair color that is not found in nature. Meaning, you know, some crazy color like, I don't know, pink, green, blue, purple. Okay, green is found in nature, but you know what I mean. The worst for me, I don't know if any one of you agrees, but I find this look to look so incredibly kind of unkempt. It downgrades the entire appearance. When someone has, let's say, blue hair, which is grown out a bit, and you have these dark roots that matches it. Or let's say you have colored your hair once upon a time in pink color, and then you have the dark roots coming out and the pink is starting to be washed out. I don't know. To me, it looks unkempt. It looks almost a bit dirty. I know we are in times where everyone should be so creative and artistic, but I think there comes a limit to what looks put together and what doesn't. And for me, personally, that doesn't look put together. If you want to look good in your hair, then you have to have a good hair color. And I do believe that keeping it as natural as possible is the key to hair success. Number 10. You know what's beautiful makeup? Is when makeup doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. That's why the famous term, no makeup look, is so popular. Because your makeup should technically be kind of invisible. I mean, yes, people see that you're wearing something, but they're not focusing entirely on your makeup because it's so cakey, it lays so weirdly, it has creases everywhere, it has these thick layers. Point number 10 is all about not having cakey makeup. And unfortunately, it's very distracting when your makeup cakes up. And I personally think that if your makeup skills are not that advanced, I rather wear no makeup than wear cakey makeup. Wear makeup only if you're able to apply it correctly. Now, good news! YouTube is a psychic and it knows what video you should be watching next. Now, I wonder if YouTube is a good psychic, but only you will know that after you click on this video and find out what YouTube wanted you to watch after this video. I will see you there.
Do you see what I mean? You can't talk to me anyhow. That's exactly the vibe we're going for. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to look rich, expensive, bougie, rich auntie, even when your bank account doesn't say rich auntie, expensive or bougie. So if you want these tips, you want to stick around and watch this video. Hello and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat with Inchua, where we have real life conversations about real life situations. My name is Inchua. If you are new here and if you're returning, what's up my G? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to look expensive even when you're broke or even when you're on a budget. And not to toot my own horn, but I think that I clean up pretty nice, if I must say so myself. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a little things I do here and there that give me that appearance. And if you're not new to this channel, you know that I do not in any way endorse being broke or staying broke. That is why I share personal finance tips every other week, just to help you get to that rich auntie status. But while you're on the journey, I also do not think that you should look ragged or ratchet or stuff like that. And to stay in line with the theme of this video, I'm going to be doing my makeup, no makeup look. So that's what's going to be happening here. But as always, pay attention to what I'm saying as opposed to what is going on with my face, okay? A long time ago, I used to argue with the idea that you are dressed by the way you look, right? And I always used to say that, people shouldn't do that. Like, once you're a human being, you should be treated a certain way. And I still believe in that. But I will also say that people address you differently based on how you look. And me and a friend conducted this social experiment, if you can call it that. So basically, one day we went to this telecommunication network office to make some inquiries, and we were properly dressed. He wore a suit and he looked nice and clean, and I also wore this really cute dress with a cute blazer over it, nice heels and all of that, right? So we went there that day, we were treated really nicely, they spoke to us really nicely. Then the next time we went there to follow up on whatever inquiry we made, it was a weekend, so he was wearing jeans, I think shorts and a t-shirt, and I was also wearing jeans and I think a cute top. And the kind of reception we got the first time was totally different from the reception we got when we were like very casual or not too put together. But after that, it literally cemented the fact that no matter what you think, people are still going to treat you or address you based on your appearance, even before they speak to you or get to know you. And so aside from the fact that you want to look really put together, rich and all of that, you also want to use your appearance to your advantage, because for the most part that is how almost everybody is. Just a few people will give the same reception to someone that looks ratchet as opposed to someone that looks very put together. Also, I'd like to say that you don't need all these things to make you special or to make you appreciated by anybody else. All these tiny tips and secrets are just like the icing on the cake. So honey, you are the cake, you are the sauce, you are the main sauce. Don't let anybody make you feel otherwise. The very first tip to looking expensive, to looking bougie and put together even when you are broke, is to always make sure that you have your hair nicely done and your nails nicely done. And you don't have to have like the most expensive Peruvian hair or bone straight hair or whatever. You could rock your natural hair, you could rock braids, ponytails, bobs, whatever you want. But whatever it is you're rocking, make sure that you're rocking it well and it's looking very clean, very nice and put together. And when it comes to your nails, you also don't have to have the most expensive gel polish or gel manicure, whatever, but make sure that you have really clean, nicely trimmed, nicely polished nails at all times. Very clean nails, and it just makes you look like you're putting a lot of effort into looking good. And if you want to take it a bit further and look a lot more classy, I'd advise that you go for a little bit more shorter length nails. Those nails that are very long and spiky and pointed may not entirely look classy. That's if you're going for the classy look. Then my second tip, I dipped my thing too deep into the concealer, so has smudged. But the second tip is to have very clean, nice, minimal, well blended makeup. If you don't wear makeup, you just have to make sure that your skin is properly moisturized. You don't have any white patches on your skin. But if you wear makeup, you want to make sure that your makeup is almost always clean, especially for everyday wear. You want to make sure that it's beautiful, it's not too loud. You don't want to have like really bold, colorful eyeshadow. Well, if that's what you want, fine. But if you're going for the rich auntie, bougie look, you want to keep your makeup very minimal. No crazy eyeshadow, just very clean eyeshadow, nicely blended makeup, not crazy highlights or anything, and you give rich auntie vibes. My third tip to looking bougie and expensive is smelling good. That, first of all, it's not something that people see, but it makes a lot of difference. And before we even start talking about perfumes and stuff like that, the first thing is you yourself. You have to be clean. Like, make sure that you're bathing regularly. Make sure that you don't have any ugly smells, in your armpits, in your mouth, down there. No. So that even as you are, without any perfume or any other addition, you already smell good. You're not giving off any offensive smell. Then you can go ahead to add a very nice smelling perfume, or even body splash. Like, you don't have to use the most expensive perfume to smell good. Some time ago, I was gifted a Zara perfume that smells so good, and every time I wore, people ask what perfume I use because I was smelling good. And so that's just to say that there are perfumes and even body splashes that smell amazing. You don't have to break the bank to smell good, but you have to know for a fact that smelling good makes a lot of difference when you're trying to become that rich auntie or expensive vibe. My next tip is something that a good number of us get wrong, and you just have to be honest with yourself when it comes to this, and that will be wearing clothes that are overly tight. Bodycon dresses are fine. You can wear bodycon dresses. That's not the kind of tight I'm talking about. There's some clothes that are not your fit. Like, you're wearing a shirt that buttons and the buttons are popping up, and that's something that I've done a couple of times. That looks very tacky, especially when you wear clothes and they're supposed to be nicely buttoned and there's gaping. That makes you look very cheap, no matter how expensive the clothing item is. If your goal is to look put together or bougie on a budget, you want to make sure that you're checking how your clothing fits. Right? Clothes that are not supposed to be too big should not be too big. If clothes are too big, most of the time you can tailor them down and make them look cute. You can belt a blazer that's too big and make it look cute. That's fine, but when it's too tight, it's a no. It makes you look very cheap and tacky, and you don't want to do that. Talking about clothing, you want to make sure that you're checking the kind of fabric or materials that the clothes you're buying are made from. Right? There are some materials that look cheap no matter how expensive the clothing item is. So you want to make sure that you're buying clothes made with satin, cotton, silk. Those kind of fabrics look a lot more expensive even if they're thrifted. So yes, the materials that your clothes are made of also play a role when it comes to how you look. Other fabrics will make you look cheap, and other fabrics will make you look expensive and bougie and give you rich auntie vibe. Then my next tip is to wear monochromatic looks, and this is something that I do almost every other week. Anytime you wear a monochromatic look, you just look bougie, like you look expensive. And it doesn't have to be black. It could be brown, it could be white, it could be any really good neutral color, or even a bold color if you like. But wearing a head to toe monochromatic look makes you look expensive right away. Like, There's no two ways about it. And it doesn't even have to be like the same shade. So maybe if you're wearing red, it doesn't have to be like the same shade of red all through. It could be one at the top, maybe a different shade of red at the bottom. As long as it's in the same, you know, color group, it's perfect. The shades and the hues can be different. Let me move a little from, you know, what you're putting on the outside and just give my next tip, which is something that is coming from your inside, and that is confidence. Like, you can wear whatever you want. You could wear the most expensive clothes, the most expensive designer and all of that, but if you don't feel like a bad bee, if you don't feel confident from the inside, if you don't feel confident in yourself, it's going to show. And whatever thing you're trying to pull off may not give what's supposed to be giving. It's very important that in whatever you're doing, you are feeling your most confident self, not timid or shy about maybe your size or how you look, but you're very confident in what you're doing. It just gives you that really nice bougie look that you want to achieve. So definitely take your confidence into consideration. If you're the shy type, if you're the timid type, if you struggle with low self-esteem, I have a whole video on that. I was once upon a time that girl that was very shy, very timid, and it will always show in how I looked, in how I presented myself when I went out. But once I fixed my confidence, I've become like a brand new person. So if you want to know how to figure that out, definitely want to check the video up here. I'll leave a link up here so you can check it out. I'll also leave a link in the description box so you can go check it out after you're done watching this video. Another thing that makes you really look cheap and inexpensive and less bougie is t-shirts that have lost their form. You know how sometimes you buy a t-shirt, the fit is perfect, and then you wash it once or twice and then it loses its form, and there's some parts that are like, you know, opening here, the sleeves are looking some way, and you still go ahead and wear it because you spent money on it and you're not wasteful. Well, it's okay not to be wasteful. I don't think anybody should be wasteful, but wearing those t-shirts, it's making you look cheap. It's like working against yourself. If you want to avoid that, you know, cheap look, you definitely want to buy t-shirts that are, you know, of good quality. And good quality does not always mean expensive. There are times that I've bought t-shirts at, you know, a bit higher price points than, you know, normal t-shirt will retail at, and still those t-shirts just didn't stand the test of time. Alright, so the look is coming together nicely, right? Anyway, so I wanted to say that I think I mentioned this earlier at the beginning of the video, but I think it's something that I have to say again. Like, all these tips are just something that will add to whatever you are already. So if you have any belief that is contradicting whatever I'm saying right now, like if you don't think that you can look a certain way, or if you think that you're ugly, or you don't look a certain way, or you don't deserve to look a certain way, then all these tips will just not work for you, right? Think that looking put together, looking expensive or bougie truly starts from the inside. That's why I mentioned confidence as one of the things that goes a long way in helping you achieve that look. But it also stems from, if you have any negative beliefs or, you know, about yourself, then that is also going to affect how you view yourself. I just wanted to say that if you're trying to concentrate more on how you look, right, and how you carry yourself, and you're trying to look a certain way, you want to make sure that inside you feel that way. Like, remember that my first point was to make sure that your hair and your nails are looking nice at all times. And then someone will say that nails and hair cost money, right? Yes, they cost money, and if you want to look a certain way, you definitely have to invest in yourself once or twice. But I would also like to say that sometimes you can just do stuff yourself. Like this wig, this hair that I'm wearing has been through a lot. It's still not done, but if you want to look a certain way and you cannot afford to pay for the service, everything that comes together to give you that look, you have to be willing to learn to do it yourself if you can't pay for it. So take this wig for example. I sat down, watched a few tutorials here and there on YouTube, and I was able to make this frontal wig. Once I curl it and I just shove it to the side like this, it looks fine, it looks perfect. and that is something that I made myself, and I saved myself about 300 cedis or 250 cedis. That was what I've gone into making this. So if you find that you don't have the money to do some things like get a new gel set every other month, you can do simple things like the stick-on nails and do them yourself. I was going to curl my hair and do all these things on camera, but obviously that's not going to work. Alright, so the hair is done. I'm putting a little bit of curls here and there. I think it looks cute. See what the different hair does. Anyway, my winning tip for the day is accessories, and there's a science to it. The secret to looking really bougie and really expensive is wearing really good accessories. And I find that accessories that are dainty as opposed to those that are chunky and like a lot going on is definitely where the difference is drawn between looking tacky and and looking bougie and rich and all of that. So when it comes to accessories, make sure that whatever metal you like to wear, if you like to wear gold or silver, that's fine. I personally prefer gold accessories, but if you like silver, that also works. But make sure that when it comes to accessories, you're not doing too much with it, right? Like if it's everyday accessories, keep it dainty, keep it clean and minimal, and that makes a lot of difference. And for occasions where you want to do a little more, you want to wear like really chunky earrings, wear those chunky earrings and leave your neck bare, or just wear a very thin necklace, and that does all the magic. If you want to do chunky necklace, definitely do the reverse. But wearing like a lot of necklaces, a lot of rings, a lot of huge earrings, that whole combination makes you look a lot cheaper, right? Like it doesn't matter how much gold you're wearing, if it looks like you're wearing like so much here, so much here, so much on your fingers, it's like it's too much. You just begin to look a lot more cheaper. But if you take your time and pick really cute dainty accessories, it does the trick. Let me show you. Do you see what I mean? See all the difference the accessories make? I chose to wear like a very pretty simple hoop earring, very small, and then this gold plated necklace. Very not the most daintiest of necklaces, but I felt like it would really look good with this because this is almost very simple, nothing extra with it. So this is what brings in a little bit of character, right? You see what I'm talking about? Now just imagine this look. This is a corset top, right? So imagine this look with really nice straight leg jeans, some really nice mules or nice strappy heels, and a gorgeous bag. And I walked into a place and you can't talk to me anyhow. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly the vibe you're going for. Always wear like a really cute bracelet like this one. You can stack your bracelets if you want. A cute ring. If you want to do like more rings, go ahead, do it. Just don't make it look too tacky, right? And wear a nice watch like this gorgeous one, and you are good to go. So yeah, these are my secrets. I definitely have a lot more, but in order for this chit chat video not to be too long, I'm gonna keep it short and simple and sweet. I hope you do. You see what I mean? You can't talk to me anyhow. That's exactly the vibe you're going for. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to look rich, expensive, bougie, rich auntie, even when your bank account doesn't say rich auntie, expensive, or bougie. So if you want these tips, you want to stick around and watch this video. Hello and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat with Inchua, where we have real life conversations about real life situations. My name is Inchua. If you are new here and if you're returning, what's up my G? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to look expensive even when you're broke or even when you're on a budget. And not to toot my own horn, but I think that I clean up pretty nice. if I must say so myself. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a little things I do here and there that give me that appearance. And if you're not new to this channel, you know that I do not in any way endorse being broke or staying broke. That is why I share personal finance tips every other week, just to help you get to that rich auntie status. But while you're on the journey, I also do not think that you should look ragged or ratchet or stuff like that. And to stay in line with the theme of this video, I'm going to be doing my makeup, no makeup look. So that's what's going to be happening here. But as always, pay attention to what I'm saying as opposed to what is going on with my face, okay? A long time ago, I used to argue with the idea that you are dressed by the way you look, right? And I always used to say that people shouldn't do that. Like, once you're a human being, you should be treated a certain way, and I still believe in that. But I will also say that people address you differently based on how you look. And me and a friend conducted this social experiment, if you can call it that. So basically, one day we went to this telecommunication network office to make some inquiries, and we were properly dressed. He wore a suit and he looked nice and clean, and I also wore this really cute dress with a cute blazer over it, nice heels and all of that, right? So we went there that day, we were treated really nicely, they spoke to us really nicely. Then the next time we went there to follow up on whatever inquiry we made, it was a weekend, so he was wearing jeans, I think shorts and a t-shirt, and I was also wearing jeans and I think a cute top. And the kind of reception we got the first time was totally different from the reception we got when we were